Some stories begin with a dream, the American dream, of a better life, a world of opportunity waiting just across the ocean. For a young woman from the rugged shores of Norway, that dream was a powerful pull. Her name was Brynhild Paulsdatter Storseth, but the world would come to know her as Belle Gunness. She was born in 1859 into a life of hard work and little reward, ambitious, strong. So, in 1881, she packed her bags and set sail for a new world, leaving the fjords and the poverty of her homeland behind forever. She arrived in America, a land bustling with energy and promise. Belle was imposing, a tall and sturdy woman, not one to fade into the background. She settled in Chicago, joining her sister, and quickly found work as a domestic servant. She learned the language, adapted to the customs, and shed her old name like a snake sheds its skin. Brynhild was gone. Belle was here. She was building a new identity piece by piece. But what was she building it for? And what secrets did she carry with her from the old country? No one thought to ask. Why would they? Soon, she found a husband, Mads Sorensen, a fellow Norwegian immigrant. They married in 1884. They opened a sweet shop, a small business to call their own. But the business struggled. And then, a fire. A mysterious fire that burned the shop to the ground. The couple collected the insurance money. La Porte, Indiana. A peaceful Midwestern town. Neighbors knew each other. 1901, Belle Sorensen bought a farm on the outskirts. Soon she met Peter Gunness, a local butcher, a widower with 2 young daughters. They married in 1902. A week later, Peter's infant daughter died. Cause unknown. A few months on, Peter was dead. Belle's story? A sausage grinder fell from a high shelf, struck him on the head, killing him instantly. The coroner ruled it accidental. Peter's family doubted it.
Jenny, the older stepdaughter, was troubled. She whispered to a friend, "My mama killed my papa. She hit him with a meat cleaver."
Soon Jenny was sent away to a finishing school in California. No one in La Porte saw her again. Belle was a widow again. She collected the insurance money. The farm was hers, a woman of property, a woman of means, but also a woman alone. She had Myrtle, she had Lucy, she had baby Philip. Yet the farmhouse felt empty. Belle did not like to be alone. Her gaze turned beyond La Porte. She was looking for something. She was looking for someone. Her next chapter began in the Lonely Hearts columns across the Midwest. Worked perfectly. The men came. Their money was absorbed. They disappeared into the Indiana soil. But you can't make people vanish forever without someone eventually asking questions. Andrew Helgelian, a farmer from South Dakota. He had sold his land, emptied his bank account, traveled to La Porte in January 1908. Then, silence. His brother Aisley wouldn't let it go. He wrote to Belle. Belle wrote back, spinning a tale. She said Andrew left for Norway. She suggested he was swindled. Aisley didn't believe it. He knew Andrew arrived at the Gunness farm with over $2,000. He wrote again and again. The letters grew pointed and demanding. He warned he was coming to La Porte to investigate. The threat was clear. The outside world knocked on Belle's door. Belle had trouble closer to home. She'd hired Ray Lamphere as a handyman. Lamphere was infatuated with her. He was jealous of suitors. Early 1908, Belle fired him. He lingered, angry and possessive. Belle went to the authorities. She had him arrested for trespassing. Belle visited a lawyer. She wanted to make a will. She said she feared for her life. She claimed Lamphere would burn her house down, kill her and her children. Was it genuine fear, or was she planting a seed, creating a narrative, setting the stage for one final dramatic act that would solve everything? The fuse had been lit. Something terrible was about to happen at the Gunness farm. On the cold, dark night of April 28, 1908, flames lit up the sky over La Porte. The Gunness farmhouse was burning. In the debris of the basement, investigators made a grim discovery. 4 bodies. They were assumed to be Belle Gunness, Myrtle, Lucy, and Philip. The prime suspect for the arson? Ray Lamphere, who was quickly arrested. But Assel Helgelian had finally arrived in La Porte. He didn't believe Belle was dead. He was certain his brother Andrew was somewhere on that property. He insisted that authorities search the farm. He told them to dig. A farmhand led investigators to a place Belle had instructed him to fill with dirt. They started digging. It was the body of Andrew Helgelian. The discovery of Andrew was just the beginning. The digging continued. One body after another was pulled from the earth. Men, women, children. The remains of her stepdaughter, Jenny Olson, were found. Body parts, torsos, splintered bones. In all, the remains of at least a dozen people were recovered, though the true number will never be known. La Porte was now home to one of America's most gruesome murder scenes. They called it the murder farm. Belle Gunness was no longer a victim. She was a monster. But a nagging question remained. What about the body found in the cellar, the one identified as Belle? It was strangely small for the large woman everyone knew. And most unsettling of all, it was headless. The head was never found. Ray Lamphere was convicted of arson, but acquitted of murder. He would later confess that he had helped Belle cover up her crimes, but he swore he hadn't killed anyone. He claimed Belle had faked her own death and fled before the fire was even set. So did Belle Gunness die in that fire? Or did the clever, cruel widow pull off one last, brilliant escape? It's a question that, to this day, has never been answered.